we were just sitting there, and there's one massive wave in the distance. Oh, that's a pretty big wave. And it just kept coming. Like, oh, that's a pretty big wave. That's a pretty big wave. And then it wasn't until like it was maybe 5 meters away, and we were like, oh shit, that is going to soak us.
Oh my god! You might actually have walked away.
I'm from Bude, which is North Cornwall. The outdoor bouldering community in Cornwall is it's pretty small. Most of the people that live here are old. I mean, I'm biased because I live in Cornwall, but I think it's one of the best places in the UK to go climbing, and it's got the most potential. Mikey's a good friend of mine. He's definitely another key figure in coastal bouldering. He's done loads of first ascents. He's always out and about exploring for the next crag, the next boulder.
And it's just all opposed, nothing opposed to it, all just faces the wrong way. Like a little bit of that.
Coastal bouldering in Cornwall, it can be more dangerous simply due to the fact that we get pretty big swells down here. It's the reason why the surfing is so good, is because we get hit by the big swells. The ocean is a beast. It can just absolutely destroy everything if it wants to. If this big swell came in, it could just completely ruin the project. You could just plonk a boulder underneath, it can take the boulder away and rip holes off. But it's the game. The conditions in Cornwall can be pretty fickle. If I was trying to go out every day of the year, it would be wet, probably 75% of the time. There is a lot of wet rock, and sometimes it won't dry until the height of summer. We decided we'd go to Pentyre, and that was because a lot of it's freestanding boulders, and we knew it was going to be a relatively big swell. We didn't realise how big it was going to be until we got there. They've already been wet by the tide, and then the tide's gone down, and then because it's still crashing and just sending that little layer of mist in, it won't let the boulders dry at all because it's just constantly getting a little bit wet. There's a cave that Mikey's developed quite a lot of. The boulders are higher up. They weren't as bad, they were drivable or pretty dry.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
The issue there is that there's quite a lot of little holes, so Mikey has pallets stashed there. Great wall if you've ever been to Pentyre, there's just this massive wall, and underneath you realise that the whole wall is floating, which is quite scary.
Bit of a squeeze there, bud. Watch out for the fucking cave spiders.
It's about like 20 metres behind it. These stash like 3 or 4 pallets.
Oh yeah, the pallets are still in there. Fuck yeah.
And the use of these pallets is to cover areas so that you don't need loads of pads. Instead of needing 3 pads for one area, you can use a pallet and a pad. In this cave, there's quite a lot of king spiders. They're just big and scary. It's a big ass cave. Where else would a cave spider live?
So many of them. look at them actually when you start picking them up, you're like, fucking hell, they're absolutely everywhere.
Cornish rock, it varies a lot.
That was the weakest, I think.
At Pentire, you've got pillow lava, sets some amazing holes. The reason the rock quality is good is because it's getting soaked and being battered by the waves, so they're just getting wave washed, and then they become nice and smooth. It rips off all the holes that aren't very good, all the choss, so that you're just left with the good shit.
It's not like gritstone this though. You ain't wearing this out any quicker of a brush than the sea is right now, for sure. Not on this stuff. It's like bullet hard.
Crafted by the gods. Poseidon himself made these boulders. This one massive wave came while Mikey was trying the top section of this boulder.
Soaked. Yeah. Like I kept putting my foot on it and then it slide off me like.
Yeah.
So we tried going down a couple of days later, and the swell was huge.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's worth going down to the cave, but we'll go down and have a look.
We were like, oh, why is the platform wet? And didn't realise until about 10 seconds later when one massive wave comes and it just comes straight down onto, well, two of us. Luckily, some of us stay dry.
We're not going to do any climbing today if we stay here, unfortunately. Not judging by that. Bollocks!
Decided that we would try and make a new plan. And that plan was to go to Tadril. There is a project there, but it's brutal. I got on the project, Mikey tried Fool's Gold, which then ended up just trying to repeat Fool's Gold.
Come on, Sully. Come on. Yes.
occasionally a wave would come in, it would just crash over this barrier and then just go and hit one of our pads. From climbing on the coast with tides, it makes me better at climbing under pressure. It's like, oh, you've got to do this now because this is the last, this is the last go of the day. It's not one of those, oh, it's the last go of the day. It is, yeah, and then you have a go, and then, oh, I'll just have one more go. Oh, I'll just have one more go. No, on the tide, it's like, okay, I've got one more go, or all my pads are wet.
Yes! Come on! Okay. 40 minutes, look. Yeah. Good. Get the thumbs up. I would like to risk it, but probably best not. Nice one, Solly, if I can repeat it again.
Happy days.
Hey, you've done it more times than I have now.
As I said, more often than not, in times like this is when you do the boulder.
I managed to repeat it that day, just before
Sick.
the sea came in. So the pads got a bit drenched, so we were like, well, I'll just chill out a bit. And then we just got mesmerised by the waves. The size of these waves, and just like the power they have behind. We just sat around for probably like an hour watching these waves. We were just sitting there, and there's one massive wave in the distance. Oh, that's a pretty big wave.
Oh my god.
Poseidon, he's a boy, he's a legend.